Hey guys, welcome to week 3 of my 2017 challenge. So this week's challenge is just a little bit different to what I've been doing in the previous couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks you guys would have seen me carrying around my camera and just going about my daily activities. This week's challenge was for me to be able to discuss a disorder that I've been suffering with for a really long time. It's something that I have spoken about on my blog once or twice. However, I've never actually sat in front of a camera and done a discussion on what it's like to have this disorder. So it was a challenge that I did put in my jar for myself to kind of step out of my comfort zone and hopefully just to help other people who might suffer from this or feel like they are suffering from this and just give them a little bit of support. So there is a reason why I made this talk a challenge. Basically, I have suffered with this disorder for over 6 years now. Not only is this disorder serious, but it is very common amongst teenagers these days and it can stay with you for a long time. So I think it was important for me not to just discuss my experience with the disorder, but to also acknowledge to other people that there is help out there and you're not alone. I had no idea I had a disorder until about 2 years into my disorder. So I think it was really important for me to acknowledge it not only on my blog, but in a video like this as well. So you can really get a focus and an insight into this disorder and what it is and what it's like to have it as well. So I hope this discussion doesn't bore anyone, but I think what I'm about to speak about really does need to be said. I'm really glad that I chose to do this one as one of my challenges. So, as you guys would have just read, body dysmorphic disorder, also known as BDD, is kind of like an anxiety disorder for people who don't feel comfortable in their body. I think there's a major difference between someone who just has a couple of imperfections with themselves that they want to change, and then someone who has body dysmorphic disorder for certain parts of their body that they need to change. It isn't my place to speak about anyone else's form of body dysmorphia, so I can't really go into scarring or particular body part issues. So I'm just going to really just speak about mine and talk about how I feel with mine. So for me to discuss my BDD with you guys, mine stems from my weight. My weight has always been a major issue for me. It's always been something that I've been uncomfortable with and something that I continue to be uncomfortable with. So my body dysmorphia for me would have started during the young years of high school, so probably like year 9 or 10. I think I was about 15 or 16 when it started. I mean, the friends that I had were a lot smaller than me. I wasn't a small child. I was pretty big in my teenage years. I was definitely overweight. I wasn't a small girl growing up. That was clear to me. I knew that I wasn't small. I don't think in the start of high school it was something that fazed me. I think in year 7 and 8 I was more focused on making friends and just doing good in school, that I wasn't really worried about my body or how I presented myself. I think in like year 9 and 10 when I knew that I was moving over to a co-ed school and I saw my friends getting boyfriends and the way they looked in jeans compared to the way I looked in jeans, or the way they looked in crop tops compared to me never putting a crop top on because I just hated the way I looked really. So I think that's kind of where it stemmed for me. I think it also stemmed from bullying. Kids in high school don't realise how mean and how effective their words can be. I mean, you get into little fights and the best thing boys or girls could come up with is, calling you fat, etc. So to them it wouldn't have been such a big deal, but for me it was a lot of build up to the reason that I got body dysmorphia, and I don't blame, please understand that I don't blame my body dysmorphia on anything else. It was kind of a build up of everything that I went through. So fast forward to around 2011, I was in one of my final years of high school, and that's when it became really serious for me. I was really tracking everything that I was eating. I was going to the gym 3 times a day. I was completely unaware of what I was doing to myself. I wasn't nourishing my body properly. I wasn't eating nearly enough. Some days I was eating 300, 400 calories and then getting to the weekend and binging because I was so hungry. And that just caused me to not even lose any weight. With me not eating enough during the week, my body was storing everything that I was eating. So when I was binging on the weekend, I was just putting on weight. And when you do suffer from body dysmorphia, if you're putting on weight when your efforts are failing to lose weight, you end up just being back to square one and being more upset than you were the week before. So my body dysmorphia and my weight was becoming such a major issue. I was crying nightly about it. I was severely depressed. I was doing everything I possibly could. I would buy new diet plans every week. I would get body tests done, everything that I could possibly do to try and stop myself from feeling the way that I did. A major issue for me was not giving myself enough information on nutrition and gym and how to do it the right way. I just wanted it done because I was sick of the way I was feeling. I put my body through hell in year 11 and 12. Anyone who actually knows me or went to school with me in year 12 would have the memory of me eating hardly anything during the days at school. I would come to school with like a tuna can and some lettuce, or I would come to school with 100 grams of fish and lettuce. My diet basically consisted of water, lettuce, and some type of protein. It wasn't major at all, and like I said, I was definitely not eating enough for my body. I was training 3 times a day, and it was just getting to the point where I was obsessing way too much, and my body was going into a complete stress. So in year 12, I ended up in my first serious relationship, and I cared about this person so much. I still care about this person, and there's no bad blood to this day. But I think if it wasn't for that person at the time, I don't know if I would have gotten through my body dysmorphia. I think once I got into a serious relationship, it became more important for me to lose weight. For me, it was important, and what was inside my head was to never put on weight while I was in a relationship. It didn't matter if it was with him or someone else. I just didn't want to put on weight. I didn't want to let this person down at all, and I didn't want to be a fat girlfriend. And that's what was in my mind. And that was what constantly went through my head, is I don't want to be a fat girlfriend. And I remember I used to spend every single week crying my eyes out, hoping that it's hard. I remember spending every single week trying so hard to not put on weight, because I wouldn't want to get to the weekend and see this person and be heavier. Because I knew I wouldn't be confident in myself and a confident person if I had put on weight. But then I would get to the weekend and I would be so hungry that I would binge and then hate myself, and just the process repeated. And this went on for so long, and I think my main issue was not talking about it and not discussing it. And I still think to this day that it's still a major issue, because it still gets me emotional and it still gets me this upset. My first mistake was not discussing my disorder with the person I was with. I would say my second mistake was not discussing it with my parents and letting them know how serious it was. They would see things and they would see that I wasn't eating much, but I would constantly reassure them that I was okay when I wasn't. I wasn't okay. I really didn't want to cry in this video. I promised myself I wasn't. It's hard, guys. If you don't speak to someone about it, it's hard. The best advice I could give is to have it all bottled up is not the way to deal with it. You have people out there, you're not alone. I was suffering with this for 6 years. I feel like I could have helped myself a long time ago. There's nothing else. There's nothing worse than feeling like you're not good enough. And there's nothing worse than feeling like you're never going to be good enough. Because I have that feeling, I know what it feels like. Body dysmorphia is focusing on a body part and hating it so much that you end up hating yourself. You lose track of what's important because you're so focused on getting this particular thing right, because to you this thing is so wrong and you're not going to be happy unless you change this particular thing about you. And for me, it's always going to be my weight. It's kind of something that you obsess over, you cry over, it gets you severely depressed, it gets you down, and it gets you kind of worried about what you're going to be doing in the future or how you're going to look. Basically, it focuses on nothing positive that you do, but your negatives and your imperfections. One thing I can say is my goals have changed to what they were a few years ago. Take me back 2 years ago, all I wanted was to be skinny. It didn't matter how I did it. It didn't matter if I did it a healthy way, from not eating, from, throwing up. It didn't matter to me as long as I was skinny. Fast forward to now, I'm proud to say that my goals are completely different. I care about what I put in my body. The way my diet has been written is accordingly to the way I train, so making sure I'm nourishing my body correctly. I make sure I am nourishing my body the right way, so I know that I'm eating and training the correct way. Through me not nourishing my body properly in the past, I have stuffed around with my metabolism, which has slowed it down a little bit. I don't lose weight fast, I never have. I put on weight fast, I always have. So it's really, really hard for me to get the right balance of what I need to do. A lot of it is trial and error, but I know, compared to my last couple of years' goals where it was just to be skinny no matter what, and my goals now is just to be healthy no matter what. And there are some days where I will just stay in bed and I will cry, but I know that I'm not going to let this particular disorder get the best of me. 2016 was one of the toughest years of my life. I went through a lot. I lost people who meant the world to me, people that I thought I would always have in my life. I went through a major surgery that really tore me down. I was in hospital for a while. My stomach was cut open. I'm not going to get into everything that basically happened, but that set me back a little bit as well. To this day, I still have a few stomach issues, so there's a lot of setbacks, but I'm not going to let it control me anymore. The way I can describe mine would be sometimes it is extremely bad, and then sometimes it's light and I can deal with it during the day. Look, I wouldn't say that I'm 100% happy. I'm still not happy with my body or how I look. However, I know that I am on the right track. I am doing it the healthy way. I am doing it the right way. And I'm doing it in a way that's not going to damage my body. I can sit here and say, look, I've suffered with this disorder for 6 years. What am I doing with myself? Or I can sit here and go, look, you've come a long way than what you were 2 years ago. 2 years ago, it was just about being skinny. And now it's about being healthy and being fit and doing it the right way and really nourishing my body in the right way. It would be a lie to sit here and tell you that it still doesn't bother me on a daily basis. Of course it does. You know, just 2 nights ago, I cried myself to sleep because I couldn't look myself in the mirror. There are times where it's tough, and then there are times where it's like, no, I can kick ass at this disorder. I can definitely beat it. I don't think there's enough acknowledgement on this disorder, and I don't think there's enough acknowledgement on what it can really do to a person. I truly believe that this disorder is a major reason as to why I've lost relationships in the past, why I've lost friendships, why I have damaged relationships with people who once meant a lot to me. It's not a quick fix, it's something that needs to be dealt with, and the sooner you deal with it, the better. I suffered with body dysmorphia for 4 years before I started telling or speaking about my disorder. I know now that I went about it the complete wrong way. I didn't seek any advice that I thought was going to hinder me losing weight. And I look back now and I shake my head at myself because I know that that was a complete wrong way to go about it. I didn't want to make this an emotional video. I didn't want to cry. I didn't want it to come off that I'm looking for sympathy. Basically, I wanted to just speak about how important it is to acknowledge someone with body dysmorphic disorder. So I'm going to read you guys something out that my doctor told me about. The BDD sufferers may perform some type of compulsive or repetitive behaviour to try and hide or improve their flaws. Although these behaviours usually give only temporary relief, just things that will kind of alter your appearance and try and make you feel a little bit better. So unfortunately, when I discovered my disorder, I was very, very young. I didn't know the facts properly and I didn't know how to handle it. I think now being 22 and a little bit more mature, it makes it a lot easier for me to kind of tackle my issues and tackle my disorder and know that I need to speak out and speak to people when it gets really bad. That doesn't mean it's any easier. It's still really hard to deal with on a daily basis. There is such a community out there and there is so much support, and you really need to tell someone if you're suffering from this. I don't want anyone to end up how I was. I don't want anyone, losing people that they wish they didn't lose. There are so many things I wish I could change. There are so many things I wonder what if I really just got the help that I needed to begin with. Like I said, I'm on the right track now, but I have learned the hard way. This could have been avoided if I went and got help sooner. Although this has been such a hard video for me to speak in, I think it was really, really important that I do. And I want people to know that it's not just a black tunnel. There is a light at the end of the tunnel and you will get through this. Even if you feel like you have no one to speak to because you don't think that your friends or your family will understand, I guarantee you that they will, and they will listen to you. But if you still feel like you can't speak to anyone, I'm going to leave my social medias linked, so please just message me because I will be there for you. Like, I have no hesitation in stopping what I'm doing during the day to speak to anyone who feels like they're suffering. I know what it's like and you are not alone, and I just want people to know that. So below in the information box, I'll be listing a lot of helplines as well as information, websites, etc. that will help you. However, if you're still not comfortable speaking to anyone from the helplines or your family or your friends, and you just want to speak to a stranger about it, please don't hesitate in messaging me. I really am just a message away, and even if you don't want any advice and you just want someone to listen to you, I will do that. In no way, shape or form am I trying to diagnose anyone with this disorder. I just want to make it clear of the importance of it. So I think I do need to wrap this up as I am hitting the 15-minute mark. So thank you guys just for listening to what I had to say and really just taking on board my information. It is really hard for me to speak about it, and it is really hard for other people to come out with BDD. So just to have the support and have you guys just listen to a little bit of information on the disorder just means a lot to me. I know this video was a little bit boring compared to, actually going out there and doing the challenges. I just wanted to say thank you, especially to my mum and my dad. I know it's hard for you guys to see your daughter go through that sometimes, so your strength, your kindness, and your support just means the world to me. So on a final note, like I said, I have left all the information down below, so please check it out if you want to know anything more about body dysmorphic disorder. If you do have this disorder or you do think you have this disorder, please know that I am here to talk to you guys, and these links, I have gone through the best pages I could possibly pick out for you guys, and there's a lot of support there. So thank you all so much for watching, it means the world to me. But I will definitely be back with a new challenge next week, so I'll talk to you guys then.